So, are you still tracking Jira tickets manually? Because honestly, while you're doing that, your competitors are literally automating their entire engineering pipeline. What if AI isn't just some neat little tool to help you type faster, but the actual central operating system that your whole company runs on? Okay, let's dive into this explainer because today we are completely shattering our priors on how companies are built. We're looking at a fundamental shift here, not just in how fast software gets made, but in what rules actually exist and what products are even possible to build. The underlying structure of how we work, it's changing forever.
And this brings us to a massive question that, frankly, most people are getting entirely wrong right now. See, too many operators are caught up in what we call the productivity illusion. They're spending hours debating how AI helps engineers type code just a little bit faster, or how slapping a copilot on some legacy workflow helps ship a minor feature maybe a day earlier. But look, that completely misses the point. What if AI isn't just a localized, fancy app sitting on your desktop? What if it's the central nervous system your entire organization operates through?
There is a stark contrast between these two mindsets. On the left, you've got the productivity illusion. It's a trap, really. It just keeps you optimizing outdated processes. But on the right, that's the actual paradigm shift happening right now. This is about unlocking entirely new capabilities. We are entering an era where the right person armed with the right AI systems can construct features, architectures, and entire products that used to require a massive, highly expensive team, or, quite frankly, were mathematically impossible for a small group to pull off before.
Part 1, the AI operating system and building closed loops. To really understand how we get there, we have to completely rethink how information actually flows inside a company.
The absolutely crucial point here is the difference between how companies used to run and how they must run now. So in the old world, companies operated on what control systems engineers call open loops. You made a decision, executed it, and, well, you didn't systematically measure the outcome. Open loops are inherently lossy. Critical information just falls through the cracks. But in the new world, your company needs to run on closed loops. A closed loop captures information, feeds it right back into an intelligent system, and constantly self-regulates and self-improves to meet a stated goal. It's built for absolute correctness and stability.
And this brilliantly illustrates how closed loops are practically built. The foundation is becoming a queryable organization. For an AI to actually run your company, the whole organization needs to be legible to it. Every single important action, every decision, every piece of feedback, every customer interaction, it all must produce a digital artifact. Why? So the central intelligence of your company can ingest it and actually learn from it. So how do you actually make your company queryable? You execute these specific steps immediately. First, you record all your meetings with AI note takers. Second, you aggressively minimize direct messages and isolated email threads. You know those isolated threads? Yeah, that's where context literally goes to die. Third, you embed agents throughout all your communication channels. And finally, you build custom dashboards that pipe everything together. Revenues, sales, engineering, hiring, ops, the whole shebang. You basically have to give your core AI models as much high-fidelity context as you would give a senior human executive. When you enforce this discipline, the results are just staggering. Take engineering sprint planning, for example. Imagine an embedded agent with real-time access to your linear tickets, your Slack channels, raw customer feedback, and your daily stand-up transcripts. It analyzes exactly what shipped last sprint and algorithmically proposes a new plan that is dramatically more predictable. Teams running this system are cutting their sprint times in half and getting 10 times more done. I mean, the days of manual, lossy status rollups are officially dead. All right, moving to part 2, AI software factories and automating engineering. Let's see how this fundamentally changes product development. If you're familiar with test-driven development, consider this its ultimate automated evolution. Here is exactly how the highest velocity companies are building products right now. Step 1, humans write an ironclad spec and a set of tests that clearly define success. Step 2, AI agents step in and generate the actual codebase. Step 3, the AI iterates relentlessly. It tests, it rewrites, over and over, until every single test passes. The human defines what to build and judges the final output, but the actual line-by-line coding, that is a machine-level job now. And there are companies already pushing this architecture to the absolute limit. StrongDM is an incredible anchor example here. Their end goal was to essentially eliminate the need for a human to write or review code. Seriously, their software factory relies entirely on specs and scenario-based validations that drive whole fleets of agents. The agents just keep iterating until the code hits a probabilistic satisfaction threshold. The production repos, they contain zero handwritten code. Which leads us to this massive multiplier. By surrounding a single, highly capable engineer with an entire system of these agents, they can construct architectures that would have been completely out of reach before. Honestly, forget the 10x engineer. The era of the 1000x or even 10,000x engineer is officially here.
Part 3. No middle management and the intelligence layer. Because if your company is a queryable organization full of AI loops operating as a continuous software factory, well, something in your org chart has to break. In the old world, you had to hire middle managers, project managers, and coordinators. Their entire job was basically to act as human middleware, inefficiently routing information up and down the organizational hierarchy. But in the new world, if your company is artifact-rich and legible, the AI serves as the intelligence layer. It handles all that routing automatically. Remember, a company's velocity is completely dictated by its information flow, so every single layer of human middleware you rip out is a massive direct gain in execution speed.
Jack Dorsey over at Block recently outlined a brilliant framework for this reality. He realized that if you keep the same management structure while implementing AI, you've missed the shift entirely. The company has to be rebuilt with humans at the edge, acting in 3 specific archetypes. First, the IC, or individual contributor. This is the builder who brings working prototypes to meetings, not slide decks. Second, the DRI, the directly responsible individual who owns strategy and final outcomes. There's no team bureaucracy to hide behind anymore. And third, the AI founder. This is a leader at the absolute forefront, getting their hands dirty and pioneering these massive capability gains. So, how do you actually leverage this for an existential advantage? Let's talk about part 4, token maxing, and the battle of startups versus incumbents. This right here brings us to the new operational mantra. Maximizing token usage, not headcount, will be the critical shift. The absolute best companies going forward are going to be token maxing. You should be entirely willing to run up an uncomfortably high API bill. Why? Because those tokens are replacing what used to take a bloated, actually scratch that, a slow and vastly more expensive human headcount across engineering, design, HR, and administration. And this is exactly where the battlefield is drawn. Existing incumbents are trapped. They're bogged down maintaining live legacy products, and they have to unwind literally decades of standard operating procedures just to try and implement AI. Honestly, their best bet is often spinning up isolated internal skunkworks teams, like a Project Mutiny, just to build AI-native systems far away from the core business. But startups are completely unconstrained. You can design AI-native workflows, systems, and culture from day one. Because startups don't have to tiptoe around legacy code bases or fear breaking core processes, they have a breathtaking operational edge right now. By building correctly from the start, a lean startup can operate 1,000 times faster than a massive incumbent. You were small enough to be nimble, but because of AI, you had the operational output of a corporate giant. Before we wrap this explainer up, let's quickly lock in the hard facts. We are moving from open, lossy loops to closed, queryable loops. Startups replacing human middleware with AI agents are literally cutting sprint times in half and multiplying engineering output by 10,000 times. Your single bottom line takeaway today: stop managing human middleware and start building your intelligence layer. Now, I have an operational question for you. If you were to rebuild your company tomorrow, what is the exact first piece of human middleware you would replace with an agent? Leave your action plan in the comments and I will jump in to help you spot the execution pitfalls. Finally, drop a comment below to grab today's complete AI operating system mind map. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you on the next explainer.